Yeah, hello, I'm Wayne Berry, and I'm speaking to you from Melbourne, Australia, and very soon I'll be linking up with Terry Brock, who is a international marketing coach, and in previous life has been the chief enterprise blogger for Skype, and a whole lot of other credentials, and I'm going to get Terry to tell a little bit about himself as we get started. If this is the first time you've joined us this morning, a special welcome to you. We do have people joining us from all around the world at the present time. We're in Sydney and Melbourne. It's 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. I see over in New Zealand, we have some people in New Zealand. It's 10 a.m. New Zealand time. In Singapore, it's very early in Singapore. It's 5 a.m. up there. In London, 9 p.m. So those of you who are joining us from London, a very special welcome. In Los Angeles, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so the list goes on as people are joining us all around the world. So welcome, Terry Brock, who is in Orlando, Florida right now. As we get started, Terry, you and I have known each other for some time. Perhaps just give us a little bit of background as to what has brought you to where you are at today, where you are renowned as a strategist, a coach in marketing, and we're going to be talking today about using technology to increase sales. So over
yes,
to you, Terry.
indeed. Well, Wayne, it is delightful to be with you. I really appreciate you through the years, and today it's wonderful to be able to do this and talk about marketing and talk about ways that we can use technology when it works. Sometimes it doesn't, and when it doesn't, we want to strangle it, and that's legal in America, so laws are different here. But
Terry,
I'm a marketer.
Terry,
Love people.
Can I just interrupt and just explain why it is that I've chosen to broadcast from literally on the beach here at Brighton Beach in Melbourne? I
Yes,
just want to
indeed.
do this just to demonstrate the fact that we are using technology. It's leading edge technology, but it's quite easy to use in that I've decided to go mobile, completely mobile this morning, and broadcast from a beach here. And I'll just pan the camera here a little bit so you can get some idea of where we are. And my whole idea in doing this was to demonstrate that anyone can use this technology to create an online web TV show that they can use as a part of what they do with their marketing. So that's the reason I'm in such a beautiful location here as we speak today. So back to you, Terry.
Yes, indeed. It's gorgeous, and we appreciate you doing that, that you can do it to say, look, we can do this. And I want those of you that are watching, think about what we're doing right now. Wayne and I are connecting. I'm in Orlando, Florida. He's in Melbourne. You can see by the beautiful beach. It's wonderful. We can operate and serve our clients, serve our customers from wherever we want to be. This is a marketer's dream come true. And the trick is stay in there, keep using the technology. Sometimes there's little glitches that are there, but that's okay. We learn from them, and we grow, and as we grow, we're able to serve people more. I saw that when I was, as Wayne mentioned, I was a chief enterprise blogger for Skype, working with Skype worldwide with a lot of different things. And you know what, Wayne, I'll admit to this to you, it was so much fun when I was with Skype, working with some of the geniuses that were there, great people, wonderful folks, geniuses, and we would have some glitches. And I started thinking, if they have problems, and these guys are as smart as they are, and they really know Skype, and they're having problems, I feel better. It's like, it's okay. So the key is, the lesson for all of us is keep working with it, stay with it, and persistence wins the game.
Terry, you talk a lot about the use of technology like we're using here right now and relationship marketing. I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about how these two relate together and how you're able to use technology with relationship marketing, which is a term that most of our viewers would be familiar with today.
Yeah, I think the relationship marketing is the most important. I wrote a book a while back. I said relationship marketing, it's not about the e-commerce with all the electronics. It's about the R-commerce, relationships. And R-commerce is really what it's about. And I find that when we use technology and we deploy that properly, we're able to take the best of technology and the best with relationships and concepts and put them together for success in marketing and sales. It's really about connecting with people, which, Wayne, you have done for so many years and helping so many people, being able to do it on a worldwide basis, and that's why you are as successful as you are. You bring in technology where it's appropriate, but always you let it be guided by helping people to achieve their goals, and that's really what marketing is all about.
Yeah, it's not technology for technology's sake, but it's how you can build the relationships with people and have that closer relationship. Right. In Australia, and of course we're talking to a global audience right now, Australia is a very vast country, and it's a long way from Perth, Western Australia, to where I am in Melbourne right now, and I travel quite a lot. But being able to keep the closeness of relationships. And part of relationship building is frequency of interaction. And when you add that video dimension to it as well, that really adds to the relationship building. No longer are you simply a voice at the end of a telephone, and let's face it, video conferencing has been around for a little while, but it's getting better and better and better. If you just look at the clarity of this picture, our viewers are viewing this, compare this with some of the other technology, like Skype, which I love. Skype's great for immediate contact, but the quality is not quite as good. And to be able to do what we're doing now, and if you're not, if everyone's not aware, we're using Google Plus Hangouts on air is what's enabling us to do a live broadcast, which is being streamed through YouTube. Also, there's a recording being created that I'm going to be able to send a link to people afterwards that they can view again. And, you know, they're going to be able to pass that link along to people who don't even know us, Terry, who are going to click on it, they're going to view it, they're going to pass it to other people. And, of course, that spreads. So that is true marketing and good marketing. But the fact of the matter is that people can see us right now and hear us. And, you know, be in my environment, be in your environment there in your office there in Orlando, builds the closer relationship. And that is much better than we've ever been able to do in the past. And the time efficiency, as opposed to being able having to get on an airplane and fly somewhere for a meeting.
Yes, and absolutely.
The way I use it, and I'm going to pass back to you, but the way I use it a lot is I do a lot of group video conferencing through our online sales coaching. So within the first 12 weeks of when we're working with a new client, they may have 20 plus people around Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia. And for the very first time, we are able to set up for them national and international sales meetings on a regular basis. Normally they get together, you know, once a year to have an international or a national sales meeting. We're able to set that up, and we do that 5 times for them within the first 12 weeks of working with them. And suddenly we've got relationships being built between people in the various branches who haven't, in many cases, seen each other before, haven't interacted before, haven't shared ideas before, and now they're doing it 5 times within the first 12 weeks. Now, that's just part of the way that we're using this technology and have been for 8 years. I mean, this is a long time for us, but some people are looking at this and they're thinking this is leading edge technology, this is new stuff. No, it's not. The quality is getting better, the convenience is getting better, the acceptance is getting better, but this is a well-proven system now. So I've talked too much. You're the guest today, Terry. Perhaps you'd like to comment on some of that and your experience and how some of your other clients are using it to build relationships and relationship marketing.
Yeah, I think we're using it to build relationships, and we're really able to do it to be more productive, to collaborate and talk with people from wherever they are. I remember when I was at Skype, we would have conference calls. We had a thing called group video calling that is available on Skype. Matter of fact, I wrote the press release for that. So it was there, but we'd have someone in London. I'm in Orlando, which is on Eastern time in the U.S., some people up in New York City, others out in Silicon Valley, and we would be able to collaborate and get ideas across. And what happens initially, when you first do it, it's like, oh, wow, what's the weather like where you are? What time is it there? And we'd have fun with that. And that's okay. It's kind of like any business meeting. When you get a bunch of people coming in to a particular area and they're all in the same place, you're talking about how are you doing, what's happening in your area, and that's part of business. But then we're able to get down to serious business, be able to work with people, and this is almost like being there. After a while, we get used to it and we realize we're sitting around the virtual conference table. One of the things that we can do with Google Plus Hangouts that's very nice, that I think you've done a lot with, Wayne, is be able to bring in several different people from different places. So you could have someone from Brisbane, someone from Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth all gathered around the table at the same time. That virtual table opens up a lot of possibilities for you, and it gives you the ability to connect with people, solve their problems, and really develop those relationships more, and it really gives you a worldwide, literally, like we're doing now, a worldwide communication system and network. And I think it's great, better to be alive today than at any other time in history. We couldn't do this before. And by the way, the cost on this is pretty reasonable. Wayne, I want you to know, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up the cost on this one right now. Between you and me, it's on me today. How's that? But then since it's free, that's okay.
Indeed, indeed, and you know that is the tremendous thing with this technology. And as much as I love Skype, you know, for Skype group video conferencing, it costs dollars. As much as I like, and dare I mention, Citrix, for example, with their GoToMeetings and GoToWebinar, the advantage of this is tremendous as I see it. My structured program with GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar, for example, I think it's certain fee per month, every single month, whether I use it or not, up to 100, and then over 100 participants, I think it goes up again to 500. Whatever, but with Google Plus, it is absolutely free, and there's no limit as to the number of people that we can have in on this. We're using our Top Gun WebTV and broadcasting through our website. So many people are looking at this actually on our website. So guess what? They've been invited to our website, and while they're there at our website, they may click on a few other links as well. Now, for those of you who are salespeople, marketers, sales managers, I'd like you to just think about that. Could you not do what Terry and I are doing exactly now? Create a web TV show, if you like, which looks professional. I trust you as you're seeing it. It looks professional. It sounds professional. And could you not invite guests to speak about subjects that would be of interest to your customers and build these ongoing relationships? And remember, the cost is zero to do it. A little bit of preparation, but you can do exactly what Terry and I are doing right now. Could you run web TV programs for your client base right now and share meaningful, useful ideas with them, not selling them anything at all? We're not going to be selling anything to you at all this morning, but the fact is you're probably viewing this at my website, you're probably viewing it at Terry's website, and while you're there you might click on, you might see some other things that you're interested in, but I'm not interested in selling anything right now. What I want to do, and this is what Terry was talking about, I hope I'm building a good relationship with you where I become a trusted source of information for you. So,
and also a source of other phone calls that might come in from time to time.
Was that ringing coming through the system?
I think so.
Someone was trying to reach me through Skype. So while you talk, Terry,
okay.
I'll turn off
you
my
know,
Skype.
It's kind of like, hey, we're in this. It's real world stuff, and when it happens, we roll with the punches, and it's okay. If you get too uptight about it, that's another thing about this. If you say, oh no, it's got to be absolutely perfect, well, hey, welcome to my planet, Sparky. It doesn't work that way here. So we roll with it. It's okay.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. And of course you travel around so much too, Terry, and you just happen to be at home in Orlando, Florida today. I just happen to be in Melbourne, but I'm going to be in China in the very near future for around about 3 or 4 weeks, and my business will just go on. I'll be running at least 2 web TV programs hosted from there with people, guests from around the world, and you can do it in any location at all, and that's one of the tremendous things about using the technology. But I'd like them to think about how to use the technology to build those relationships, not to sell anyone anything, but build the relationships. It's the frequency of interaction, and if you become regarded as the person that your clients go to for information, a trusted source of information. The funny thing is, I speak to clients who call me, and I chat with them over the phone, and we're old friends. And I used to think, well, gee, how come the rapport is so good? How come they think of me as an old friend? Of course they think of me as an old friend. They see my face maybe once or twice every week with my Top Gun video sales tips that go out to them. And of course they feel they know me when they talk to me, even though maybe I've never spoken to them or I spoke to them 5 years ago. And that's the beauty of doing this. It's real leverage, isn't it, Terry? In that you and I record this once, we spend time talking together, but we impact literally. I know we will have over 2,000 viewers around the world by the time people view these recordings over the next 7 days. So we will have made contact with more than 2,000 people. Now that's real leverage of the hour or so that you and I spend here. We reach 2,000 people and maybe pass it along to other people, and so it goes on. And our viewers can do exactly the same in their business.
Yeah, exactly. And the capabilities are phenomenal because we want to be able to bring in more people, be able to solve problems. And the beauty of using video is it becomes more than just a talking head. With the talking head, you're seeing me, it's great. And when you think about it, that's good. It's nice that we're seeing it. We can watch the facial expressions. But where it really starts coming into magic, it's like I was working with some clients just the other day in a couple of different industries. One in heating, ventilation, air conditioning, the wonderful people that make things comfortable for us. They can then show what's going on with a particular compressor, for instance. Say, look at this, and the blue button's here, and there's the red button. You want to push that one. See it here? We'll hold it up to there, and they can see it right there. People can use this, and this really increases productivity. They can get a lot more done, and they save a lot of costs. Instead of sending a technician all the way out there to the field where things are going wrong, they can often say, oh, no, no, Mr. Client, you can fix it. Hold that up there, right there. Yeah, that button right there. Go ahead and press that one. There, it's now working beautifully. The client got their operation moving much faster, and they saved the cost of sending the technician all the way across town to take care of it. This is really the way business is not only moving, but it's where it is right now. This is no longer the wave of the future. And I would encourage those of you that are watching it, start getting into it. It's free, for crying out loud. Hey, you can't complain that it costs too much. Get in there, start using it, and then think about ways you can use this to start reaching people in a beautiful, wonderful way, to be there and help them. And yes, the sales are definitely going to follow, because as people see that you are the resource, you are the person that can help them to achieve their goals, you do it faster, you're doing it much easier. Once you get it set up, it's very easy. And then third, you're going to be able to do it at low or no cost on this. So it's a type of technology that's amazing. As we can see from beautiful Wayne there on the beach, being able to get work done right there in the sunshine. Yeah, it's kind of nice, isn't it, Wayne?
Indeed it is, and just a couple of thoughts here. I often tell my clients these days that selling should also be about educating. If you're able to educate your clients. So for example, one of my clients in the pumping business, beautiful offices, they've just set up new facilities, and what they built into the facilities were some large meeting rooms. And when I was chatting with them about, well, what are you going to use these large meeting rooms for? Oh, we're going to bring in people and run education sessions for them. So we're going to bring in architects, we're going to bring in people who specify the equipment that they provide. And of course, that's good. If you can educate the specifiers in the kind of technology that you can provide, in their case pumps, and build relationships with the specifiers, then of course the specifiers are going to be more likely to recommend and specify your equipment. And it occurred to me, and I chatted with the client, well, hey, when you get groups of people in to do live training like this, why not also offer it to people nationally and internationally who can't make it there live to join you in an online broadcast? Why not broadcast to people who cannot be there? They can just log on wherever they happen to be in their own location, or if they're not available live, they can log on afterwards, watch the recording. And really, these days, it is like watching a TV show. And let's face it, part of building rapport is making people feel comfortable, and people are quite used to watching, you know, the morning breakfast show on television where they bring in guest presenters and people from around the place and add that variety. It's just like doing it that way. Now, again, I'm looking at leverage. Instead of just having 20 people in the room, what if they were able to get that message out to 200 people by just streaming it, video streaming it, and then also having archiving the recording and making that available as a part of the resource library that they have. So that, again, is one way that I see of using this technology. Do you have other clients that do that kind of stuff, Terry? You can get the thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, it's something that we're doing right now. I just finished with some clients in different areas where they're able to show what's going on. They're able to use it in a host of different ways. For instance, in using training, they could then say, here's how you use this new product, and they can be the person that's in the middle. They have their customer on the screen and have that top engineer who really knows the new widget and how to make it work from the manufacturer also on the screen. Now they have all parties involved. Think of the magic that happens with that. The customer now realizes, wow, by dealing with this person who's providing the service for us, they have access to the manufacturer. They have access to us. We get our problems solved faster. We get them solved easier and cheaper all the way around. And for training, it's wonderful. I just worked with another group up in Canada. For instance, a group of people in a credit union throughout one of the provinces up in Canada, and they were able to connect many different people, and it was a wonderful experience for them, because often they have this funny thing up there called, what is it called? Snow. Snow, that's it. So white stuff comes down from the sky. We don't have that in Florida, you know, so it's kind of a strange thing for me. But they have it come down, and it cancels meetings sometimes. Like, for instance, they might have that meeting scheduled next Thursday, and then here comes the snowstorm. Oh my goodness, roads are closed, no one can go anywhere, they have to cancel it. Well, that's lost productivity. Instead, a better way is just say, okay, instead of meeting physically, instead of everyone driving to a location, we're now going to do it with Google Plus Hangouts. And with Google Plus Hangouts, we can have everyone gathered around the virtual conference table, and with the right amount of adaptation, and you adapt according to that, what's there. You also learn the medium, you practice with it. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. So that it's much like the first days that we did email, it was kind of tough. But then we saw, wow, this is really nice, we can do it. Well, as they practiced with it, they were able to get an enormous amount done, be able to have special meetings. And here's another thing they can do. In the province, they might have a particular bill that is before the parliament or their legislature, and they go, wow, we want our association to support this bill or to oppose it or whatever. They can then have an emergency meeting and saying, hey, bill such and such is now in front of the House, and we need to talk to you about this. Please gather everyone at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we'll talk about it. So the possibilities now become almost enormous, that we can do so many of the things that were only limited to being there physically. Now we can do it. We dissolve geographical differences like you and I are. I'm in Orlando, Florida. You're in Melbourne, yet we're able to communicate now vividly, almost like we were right there, and we're doing it for free. Well, I'm paying for the call tonight. Yeah, that's it.
Terry, social media, been around for a little while now. What's the number one problem that you think, or that you know from your experience, that salespeople, sales managers, business people are experiencing in using social media? There seems to be a lot of confusion about social media. Should I be on Twitter? Should I have LinkedIn? Should I have Facebook? How do people make a decision as to what's right for them?
That's a really good question, because I hear that a lot from people that are executives, and they go, gee, I've got all these things. You got to be on Twitter. Oh, don't forget, you got to be on Facebook. Oh, and then here's LinkedIn over here. Oh, and then here's Tumblr, and then there's Oogie Woogie out here, and then there's Dooga Dooga over here, and Iggy Beegy over here, and there's always something new, a new shiny object, and people are going, ugh, I need help. How am I going to handle all this? And I think the real key is time management. And how do you handle the time to get things done? How do you know what to do? Matter of fact, I even have a course now on time management for social media, where I went out to very successful, self-made multimillionaires, asking them, how are you doing this? How do you do it? What do you do? And some of the keys that they told me is, what you do is you, first of all, select your priorities. Understand what it is you need to do. Each market is going to be different. If you're a dentist, you're going to be in a different position in your marketing than if you're, say, a supplier of hardware, or if you run a restaurant. All of those people need to be on social media. One of them might need to be more on Twitter. Others might be more on LinkedIn. Others might be more on Facebook or Tumblr or Pinterest. There's several different platforms out there, and each of them has their own unique style. And one of the things you don't want to do, I'll mention this to people that might have seen this done a lot, is they take one message and they blast it out to everyone. They're using that word, blast. How many of us like to be blasted with a message? We don't. Well, then why do you do it to your customers? Don't. What you've got to do is you connect with them. You engage, and you do it in different ways. For instance, Wayne, the way you are dressed right now is appropriate for doing a video on the beach. But if you were going to a very formal meeting, you were going to meet with the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, you're going to meet with him, and it's going to be really formal, in a formal black tie dinner, you wouldn't dress like you are right now. Of course not. If he invites you, you dress up differently. Doesn't mean you're being someone different. It means you're just showing different parts of you. And if I said, we're going to go jump in the water, you wouldn't jump in with the clothes you have on right now. You would change. So we have different ways of doing things for different activities. And that's the same in social media. You do not use the same message on Twitter that you would use on Facebook, or that you would use on LinkedIn. And you're in a different frame of reference, a different mindset when you do that, and you market differently based on where you are. So I think one of the number one problems people are running into is time management. And then the second one would be, how do you relate to each medium? Find out how to do that. I talk a lot about that in my courses, and I show what's available. These kinds of things are extraordinarily important to be effective and not be deemed as a real jerk that you don't want to deal with. And get rid of that word blast. Get rid of that. Engagement is the key. You engage. That means you sit down and you respond to them. Any more than if I walked up to you and I tried to shake your hand and you step back and gave me a standard message that you would have on TV, that would be downright rude. What you do is when you see someone, you shake their hand, you talk to them, you look at them in the eye, and you're connecting with them as a real human being. That is what social media is about. It's not spam media. It's not selling media. It's social media, connecting with people and being a real, genuine human being.
Mm. Terry, you've got a book called Clout Matters, and I understand it's been a bestseller in Canada and the United States. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that book and why does clout matter? Exactly what is that?
Yeah, well, it's very important. And matter of fact, it just so happens I have a copy right here. Here we go. A shameless self-promotion here of Clout Matters. And really what it is Clout Matter. Clout is a tool for measuring your social influence, and it works with Twitter, with Facebook, with LinkedIn, with all of those to determine how effective are you really in all of this? And it's kind of the overriding guide. It's much like if you had someone who was very much overweight and they were ingesting the wrong kind, they were smoking, they were drinking way too much, not exercising at all. If they went to a medical doctor, they would ask for a way to improve their health. They wouldn't necessarily say, oh, I want a better BMI, the body mass index score. That is important. But the Clout score is much like the BMI. It shows you, are you doing things right? If you worked with professionals and you were overweight, you had those things, they would tell you, you need to do this, you need to exercise this way, avoid these foods, avoid these substances, have more of these kinds of foods. They would prescribe a whole pattern and system for you. Same thing with Clout. Clout can help you to understand what to do and what not to do so that you connect with people more. That's one of the real benefits. And another benefit of it is the perks that are given. Perks are things like, well, for instance, here in the United States, Chevrolet, one of the large car manufacturers here, wanted to connect with people who were very interested in the environment and automobiles. So they went to Clout, asked for people that they could connect with. Clout was able to make that connection, and Chevy said, we've got this new car called the Chevy Volt, which is very sensitive to the environment. It's a hybrid, runs on electricity, etc. And they gave the keys, said, here you go, here are the keys for this Chevy Volt for a long weekend. Enjoy yourself. And if you like it, fine. You want to write something about it, good. You don't have to write anything. And if you want to say something negative, that's your choice too. We're not putting any restrictions on you. Just enjoy. Here are the keys. Have a good time. And these kinds of things are starting to happen. We're seeing now, for instance, American Airlines here in the States said, if you have a Clout score of 55 or higher, we're going to let you stay at our prestigious Admirals Club for free for a day. Here you go, no charge, and you don't even have to fly American Airlines. Just have this Clout score, and by the way, we will check it out because your Clout score is public. Unlike, say, scores that are determining whether you're worthy of a loan, in the States we call it the FICO score, other countries will use different scores. They will then use that to determine if you get a loan or not in the financial area. Now a Clout score is determined who is going to be hired in many cases, and it's a way to kind of make sense of what's going on with social media. And Clout is something that we definitely want to get to know and see what it can do for you.
Terry, I'm not quite sure I understand. I must admit I haven't read the book yet. Are we talking an app? How do you get a Clout score? How does that work?
Very good point.
Where does the information come from, go to? How does that work?
Yeah, definitely. You don't need to have a particular app. It's not like another thing in addition to Twitter, Facebook, and all of those. It looks over it. You go to clout.com. That's Clout with a K. Just like we have here, it's Clout with a K, clout.com. And then if you have a Twitter account, you will see that you have a Clout score. Now, what you'll want to do, as a matter of fact, here's a little ninja trick that I would recommend for everyone watching. Go to clout.com. There's no charge for it. And you sign up and make sure you've connected your Facebook, your LinkedIn, and other networks that they have there. You're probably doing a lot of good things that can help your Clout score. Just connect them so that you're saying, yes, I give you permission. Here you go. Have a good time with that. And then people will be able to see that. And as your Clout score goes up, it means you are more influential. It shows that. And then, like for instance, hotels like the Palms Hotel and other hotels now around the world are looking at Clout score when you check into a hotel because they want people who are very influential saying nice things. And they will upgrade people often for free to a nice suite or put them into a better place. Clout is really helpful for things like that. And it's something you definitely want to get to know about.
Mm. Terry, you and I think, both love gadgets and love technology. I'm always picking up p- hardware, pieces of hardware that are really useful to use to make my life easier. You went to a technological fair, did you not, recently? Was that, you told me what it was, I think it was in Las Vegas, and you did
Yes,
quite a
New
few
Media
reports
Expo.
from there. Yeah, new media. Tell me a little bit about some of the gizmos, some of the gadgets and things that are not just interesting and fun, but are useful and practical that you can use. Things like perhaps cameras, microphones, I don't know, iPhones, those
Oh
sort of
yeah,
things.
well we see a lot there, and I remember like that, and over at Consumer Electronics Show, there's a lot available as well. And having a very good microphone, the webcam, for instance, that you have from Logitech is very good. I'm using the one right now that's built into my MacBook Pro, and it works very nicely. And actually, let me show you a little secret. How's my voice coming in right now for you, Wayne?
Yeah, that's coming in fine, loud and clear.
Okay, it's because I'm not using the internal speakers on the computer. Instead, I'm using the Yeti microphone. Here it is. This is the mic, and you notice how I put it right down here so that you don't quite see it there on the video. And that
So
helps.
that's the small one. That's the
Yeah,
micro.
this is the small one. See, mine's pretty big. Hey, hey, hey. You know? And we put
Yep.
the microphones like that. It makes it very nice. Now, another one, by the way, let me show you. Another one that I'll use is this over-the-ear microphone. Get one of
Yes.
these, and that gives me the
Mm-hmm.
ability to do a lot and be very productive when I'm sending email. How can that be productive? I use dictation a lot now. Built into the Mac's OS, the operating system of the Mac, is
Mm-hmm.
dictation. And even this jaded journalist, who in journalism school, we're taught to sit back and go, yeah, right, uh-huh, be real cynical. But even this jaded journalist is going, oh my goodness, wow, that is amazing what it can do, that as we talk, our words appear on the screen. It's not 100% accurate, but then neither is my spelling. I'll guarantee you that. But instead, what you want to do is use some of the microphones like that to increase
Yeah.
your productivity. And of course, things like your smartphones and tablets. I'm using here my little iPad. Use this all the time for reading lots of books and for getting much done, being much more productive. Simply by utilizing those tools, we can do a lot.
Well, look, I use, I'm very, very mobile, so I use voice command. I must admit I'm an Apple person, a little bit like you, although I think you're a bit more versatile than me. I only really understand Macs, and I have an iPhone. And what I do is I load up people that I'm going to call, or people that I need to call that day, into my iPhone, and I do it by using, is it what's it called, contacts or something within my Mac.
Yes.
They
Yeah, works
then
very nicely.
go through the cloud onto the iPhone, and I use voice command. So I will literally say, um, press, and I'm wearing the Apple microphone and earphone here, which is giving pretty good quality sound. And for those who do this sort of thing, it is well worth just using, as Terry says, a microphone as opposed to what's in the computer to get that
Yes.
better quality sound. But I'll just be able to click on there and say, call Harry McIntosh mobile. Now, Harry's one of my sales coaches. It will dial that number, and I can have a conversation with Harry. And of course, don't quite know what they're like in the United States, but they're hot on to people here using mobile telephones in their hand when they are traveling. But I
Yes.
turn all of my travel time into conference time and do it safely by preloading the numbers and then using Siri to voice command call different people. And of course, as you know, you hear an email come in, and I must admit I often have this in my ear as I'm traveling so I can hear my phone, and I'll hear a tone that says I've just received an SMS. Now, without even taking the phone out of my pocket, I just simply click on here and ask Siri, read me the last SMS. And of course, Siri will read me the last SMS. I can then also say to Siri, okay, reply to that SMS, and I can dictate an SMS, go straight out. And I can be
Yes.
walking through a shopping center, walking through a hotel, walking to catch a flight, and I'm mobile. I don't have to wait until I get to the other end. I don't have to wait until I can sit down and make the phone calls. I'm just constantly interacting. I'm able to use my time efficiently. Now, for me, that gives me more time when I arrive. And if I'm going home and I'm going to spend time with my family, some people, I know they rush home and I can't talk to you right now. I've got to catch up on phone calls and things. For me, let's use that travel time. Let's be using our mobile, the mobile apps, to do that on the run. So when we arrive, we can relax. We can relax with the people that we love and we care about.
Absolutely.
Tell me a
Absolutely.
little bit about how
Tying
you
in
use that
relationships,
kind of
right?
technology. Indeed, indeed, that's what it's about.
Yep, exactly. And what you're doing right now and using that the earbud there, that is so important. And those of you watching this, notice how Wayne is doing that and what the quality of sound is. I do that regularly when I'm on the road. So I'll use that little earbud, and it's all right. And you can get so much more done. Oh, and by the way, Wayne, do you know who the voice of Australian Siri is?
No.
Well, I
Should I?
want you to know that I have a rare opportunity. I was talking to the person who did all the recording for Apple for Australian Siri and switched my phone from American Siri over to Australian. Her name is Karen Jacobson. She's a professional speaker now based in New
Really?
York City, and she is the actual voice of Siri. And for me, it was pretty crazy to be able to switch it over and then listen to her on Siri and listen to her talk on a Google Plus Hangout we were doing. It was
Yeah.
amazing. But using Siri is really productive because when I'm driving around, I can say, Siri, get me to 1234 Main Street in Orlando, Florida, or wherever I'm going. And
Yeah.
by a voice-by-voice call will get me there, telling me how to do it. I'm sending out the emails, just like you said, getting the
Mm.
information. And the key on this is, those of you that are watching this, think about this. You're going to be more productive. You're getting back with people faster and easier. And then you have that quality time, just like Wayne said, that when it's time to be with family or be with loved ones or you've got an important luncheon, you can say, hold it, let me put this on the side here and I'm not going to touch it because you are most important. I want to talk with you right now. There'll be a time that I need to get back and take calls that are coming in. But we do it that way. And Wayne, it's called relationship marketing. It's called connecting with people and being a real, genuine human being. And Wayne, you are an example of how to do it right. Thank you for the things that you do and the way you do it.
Yeah, well, thanks, Terry. Just making our life easier through using this technology, I still am amazed that people will say, oh, look, you didn't hear from me for a day because I was out of the office, or you didn't hear from me for 2 days because I was overseas. And I scratch my head and I think, I don't get it. You know, mobile phones will get you anywhere. Skype, you can make phone calls and receive phone calls and be in touch with everyone from anywhere. Isn't this a change of mindset that we need to change our mindset about using the technology? It's there. It's not new. It's well proven. But so many people are still in the mindset of, oh, I'll make those calls when I get to the office, or I'll check my email when I get back the day after tomorrow. And I was listening to Brian Tracy and I have been friends for a very long time. For those of you who know Brian Tracy, San Diego,
Yeah,
very well
he's a good
known
man.
sales trainer, brilliant man. He spoke about how less than 2% of people have that sense of urgency. And it is that sense of urgency which really creates a distinguishing point between you and the competitors. If you can respond quickly to someone's phone call, someone's email, and be very much available to your clients. See, I'm available through Skype. Through my phone, I always have Skype turned on my phone, so sometimes people will call me from overseas, they'll contact me through Skype, it'll ring on my mobile phone, on my iPhone, I'll take it as a Skype call. I also use some of the other apps. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with some of these, like WhatsApp.
Yes.
There's another one, Viber, as well, Viber, V-I-B-E-R, I think it is. There's another one called WeChat. Now, I deal a lot with the Chinese community, both in China and in Southeast Asia and Australia. And I know they favor something called WeChat, so I'm on WeChat. And around about 11 o'clock last night, I had a WeChat message from my real estate agent who is Chinese, and he's selling a particular investment property for me right now. But he was able to send me a quick message on WeChat, send me a photograph that I could have a look at and approve straight away. It was a billboard for the front of this building that's being sold. I mean, that all happened in a matter of a couple of minutes. Didn't even intrude on my family, but I was able to look at it, answer, didn't hold him up. So part of the point I'm making here is that if we can provide exceptional service for our customers by being very responsive, super responsive, by being connectable, in other words, they can reach you anywhere through many different methods. So I have Viber on all the time, I have WhatsApp on all the time, I have WeChat, I have Skype. They can reach me through SMS, they can reach me through my phone. Now, what's that? That's about 7 or 8 different ways to contact me. I'm very, very contactable. I don't know about you, but I deal internationally these days, and I say to my clients, look, I have no business hours. I work across all of the date lines. you can contact me at any time. However, let me say, I balance my life very well because I value the time with my family. So if a message comes in and I'm with my family, I won't take it immediately, but I will get back to you very, very quickly on that. So again, we can be run by this technology. It can take over our lives, or we can compartmentalize our lives and use it sensibly. Have you got any thoughts about that, or your personal experience?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the sense of urgency, you're right, that is really important. I've had the opportunity and the privilege, like you, to see many people who are multimillionaires. Been working with them, and I find that it is interesting that they are really diligent about staying in touch with people. They have that sense of urgency, particularly when you can help another person, when you can be with them. But I also think there's a definite time when you have silos and you go, I'm not reachable right now. Like, for instance, I live in Florida. We have outside our condo here, we have an outdoor pool, and I like to swim laps back and forth. It's good exercise. I don't carry my cell phone with me, my mobile phone, when I'm in the water. Okay, I just don't do that. And there's other times when, like for instance, I'm going to sit down, we're going to watch a good quality movie or something. Sometimes with my partner Gina, we'll sit down, we'll watch that, and I will just turn off electronics. We have a wonderful thing called voicemail, and it works beautifully. And I figure people can leave a message, and if they don't want to leave a message, it wasn't important enough. So we'll do it that way, and I think each person has to decide what's there. But when you're working, that sense of urgency is so important. John Kotler talks about that. He's a professor up at Harvard and talks about the importance of that urgency, doing it now, rushing, pushing a little bit extra, and then you've earned the ability to step back and take some relaxation as well. And I love the fact that the technology can be with us anywhere, anytime. I don't see that as a disadvantage, but I see that we have to exercise our brains and our minds and say there are sometimes in silo, I am not available. I'm off the grid right now, and that's okay. I'm not a heart surgeon, so it's not like I'm on call and human life is at stake, but we make sure we get the job done. And I think it's wonderful to have technology that makes it so much easier for us to operate anywhere, and it makes it for a much more leisurely lifestyle, even in the midst of the sense of urgency that we do have to have.
Indeed, and I think some of our viewers will relate to this. They spend a lot of time getting on and off airplanes, in and out of hotels. I know I used to do it a lot. I don't travel as much as I used to. I don't make as many live presentations as I used to. It was a lot of wear and tear on the body. More importantly, I was away from my family so much. And around about 7 or 8 years ago, I had some major health challenges, and it literally stopped me dead in my tracks, and I had to stop doing what I did. And sometimes we get this tap on the shoulder, and it is time to stop doing what we did because it no longer serves our purpose. So these days I travel when it's appropriate to do so. I use video conferencing to have that face-to-face contact with people more frequently these days, as well as I still present live if I get invitations and it's in a warm, nice place that I'd like to go to, or a place I've not been before, or I feel I can best serve my client by being there live. So often these days I'll launch a program for a client by being there face-to-face, meet all the people, spend half a day with them, get that face-to-face contact, that belly-to-belly stuff. As you often say, you can't have a virtual beer. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, but we're working on that right now.
But once they know me personally and they've had contact with me, then to continue the relationship and maintain the relationship through video conferencing and all of the other methods of touch points, of being able to touch our clients and build that relationship, keep the relationship going, that's real leverage and enables us to look after our health. So I'm talking now to sales managers and salespeople who are constantly on off airplanes to think about how you can use this technology to give you more quality time with your family. Now, one of the goals that I've had for quite some time is to spend more time with my family and my partner, and I've set a goal to start doing some more sailing. Now, I'm a private pilot. I've been very passionate about that. I've been into boating for years. I'm just about to make a fairly major decision on a very large catamaran. Now, that's a lifestyle decision, but I'm going to be able to do business from that boat. As I travel from Melbourne, say, and cruise for, say, 14 days to reach up to the Great Barrier Reef and not be out of touch with my clients at all. I'm going to be able to use satellite communication to video conference, to check email, send email. It will be just like there'll be a part of my life during that cruise, that long cruise, when I'll have my business hours, and that may just be 20 miles off the coast of east coast of Australia, where I'll be able to do business without any interruption to my client. But hey, what a great impact on my health, my relationships with my family. So I would just encourage our viewers to think, how can I use this technology to improve the quality of my own life life, not just for business, the quality of my own life, my relationships with my family, and to take the stress out of the day-to-day, because it is stressful. You know, it's like, Terry, on and off airplanes, in and out of hotels, catching taxis, rent-a-cars, GPSs. You know, it's stressful. And if you can train your clients to understand that you can give them service this way, you'll make life easier for yourself as well.
Absolutely, Wayne. I couldn't agree with you more. I'd put a lot of exclamation marks behind what you're saying, because you're really achieving the ultimate of what we want. You're getting the work done, and that gives us the money to fuel other things. But most important is the relationships with people, family, with clients. You can connect with them, and when someone calls you and you're on your catamaran, you're 20 miles off the coast of Sydney heading up toward the Great Barrier Reef, you can still get those calls. You can still do it, and I think that's the beauty of it. And then other times when you say, you know, I really want to just sit back and enjoy, you can do that. The phone call will come in, it's stored there, and then you call them back later on when you want to. You're able to do that. You're able to meet their needs, able to meet your needs, all because you're smart enough to learn how to use the technology, stay with it, and make it work. That is the ultimate of doing, of living today and being very productive all the time.
Indeed. Terry, we're coming up to the allocated time here, and people viewing this have got to rush off the meetings and do things, or hopefully make some video conference calls, and you've got commitments as well. So look, any other extra things that you'd like to add in here at the end? And by the way, just while you're thinking about that, at the bottom of Terry's nameplate there, you'll see terrybrock.com, which is where you can contact Terry for further information about the services that Terry provides. Terry is an international marketing coach, so he has clients all over the world, and Terry is happy to give you some free advice, have a chat with you, explain to you exactly what his services are. And I introduce Terry to my clients very frequently on an ongoing basis. I guess I've known Terry now going on around about 10 years, and I hear nothing but great reports from my clients who use Terry's services. So I would encourage you, if you would like more information from Terry, go to terrybrock.com, or send you an email, Terry, and I think it is terry@terrybrock.com, as I recall.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. And Wayne, it's just wonderful to be with you. And I would say to those of you that are watching, use the technology. If you're scared of it and going, oh, gee, I'm not like that, instead of saying, no, I can't do it, I would encourage you to think in terms of not yet. And I know that, Wayne, you have talked about that as well. It's like great minds think alike. I've been talking often about the movie The Matrix. There was the scene where they were fighting the bad guys, and they were able to get some things that they needed done, and then they had a helicopter, needed to fly it. And he looked over at her and said, can you fly that thing? And she looked back at him and said those immortal words, not yet. She jumped on her phone, called back, and they downloaded the information through the mobile phone, the cell phone, into her mind, because, well, it's a science fiction thing. Mm-hmm. And they charged off and did what they needed. But it hit me. That's the key. When people say, and we'll say, well, can you do this? And they say, oh, no, I can't do it because I'm not into technology. Or, oh, no, I'm a people person. Hey, if I hear that again, I'm going to have to come out and slap you. Instead, what you've got to do is say, not yet. Because that means you're going to say, I might not know how to do it. You're not jumping on a chair, pumping your fist in the air in some stupid way, saying, oh, I can do it, when you really know you can't. But you say, not yet. I'm willing to read the books. I'm willing to exert the energy. I'm going to hire the coaches. I'm going to enroll in the courses. I will learn what to do. I'll take that university class. Whatever it takes, I will do it, and I will be willing to put in the time, money, and energy to make it happen. I love the way that Ben Franklin said it, one of our founders in the United States. He said, pour the coins of your purse into your mind, and your mind will overflow your purse with coins. And I think that's the key that we've got to look at. Invest in your mind, invest in the market valuable skills. That's important. Market valuable skills so that you can achieve what you want. I do a lot of that and you'll see them at terrybrock.com. And matter of fact, if you're watching this, just drop me a note, terry@terrybrock.com. I answer that personally. That will be really me. And I would love to hear from you. If you've got some questions where I can help, let me know. And I am honored that you take the time to be here with us today. And Wayne, thank you very much, sir. It is an honor to be with you, mate, and to get a chance to share some ideas. And hey, we're just going to have to do it again many more times.
Indeed, and thank you for your time, Terry. I really appreciate it very much. And it's, of course, it's because of this technology that's enabled me to actually do this broadcast from where I am here now. I'll just pan the camera there, as you can see.
Woohoo! I love it. This is good.
Life's pretty tough, and so I've got to rush off because I've got a jet ski to catch right now. So
Wayne, those people behind you, wave to them and tell them hello from America.
Indeed, they have no idea what we're doing here. Anyway, look, as I'm so prone to say, have a great day, make it a great day. It will be indeed the day that you make it. And again, once again, thank you to Terry Brock in Orlando, Florida. Bye for now.